Anti-competitive behaviors may cause various problems like an increase in product prices, decrease in choices available for consumers, as well as market inefficiency. To discourage such anti-competitive behaviors and encourage market competition, the Hong Kong government passed the Competition Ordinance in 2012 and has formally implemented it since the 14th of December 2015. There are many regulations under the ordinance. We'll focus on the first conduct rule and the second conduct rule in this video. The first conduct rule mainly regulates those anti-competitive conducts through agreements with competitors within the same sector, which are also known as horizontal agreements. Common horizontal agreements include price fixing, output restriction, market sharing, group boycott, and bid rigging. Price fixing means that different competitors fix a higher than normal price for the product they sell. This reduces the price competition between them. In this case, no matter where the consumer goes, he has to pay the same price which is higher than it's supposed to be worth. Therefore, this action adversely affects consumers and even social benefits. Output restriction is when the members of a cartel collude to limit their output in order to push the market price up. For example, once there was collusion among certain member states of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, to reduce their oil output. According to the law of demand, market price rises when output level drops. Therefore, those member states could gain a higher profit margin through this collusion. Similarly, both consumer and social benefits would be badly affected. Market sharing occurs when competitors reach an agreement to allocate different parts of the market to the corresponding sellers so that their own target market segments won't overlap in order to reduce competition. For example, seller A only serves customers from District A while seller B only serves those from District B. This ensures that there's no more than one seller in each district. Naturally, sellers would find such a reduction in competition beneficial. Group boycott means that a group of competitors agree not to do business with certain customers or suppliers. For example, in the past, some of the main newspaper suppliers refused to sell newspapers to certain newly entered retailers in order to drive them out. Bid rigging is when a group of competitors come to an agreement in advance on the prices they're going to submit in their bids so that they can ensure lower prices with less rigorous competition. For example, during the tendering of stalls at Tai Po Hoi Market Cooked Food Center in 2010, a few bidders agreed on the exact stalls they would like to bid for to eliminate potential competition and ensure lower bidding prices. In the end, they were sued by the ICAC. On the other hand, the second conduct rule mainly targets sellers having substantial degree of market power and prevents them from abusing their power. This rule mainly regulates certain vertical agreements and predatory behaviors. Common examples include tying, exclusive dealing, resale price maintenance, long-term supply agreements, and predatory pricing. Tying refers to situations where the seller requires the buyer to buy another product together when the buyer purchases the product he wants. For example, some property developers force buyers to purchase services from a specific telecom service provider when they buy the flats. This may make it easier for those telecom service providers to find customers and increase their market shares. This is also unfavorable to other telecom companies and affects the fair competition within the telecom market. Exclusive dealing occurs when the seller requires the buyer not to deal with other suppliers. For example, a certain TV station once specified that all the artists who had entered contracts with it could not take part in any other TV station's productions. This could reduce the revenue of other TV stations. Resale price maintenance occurs when an exclusive supplier establishes a fixed resale price to be observed by the resellers when they resell the product, or else the resellers may not get any supplies in the future. This ensures the supplier's product is sold at a higher price that can maintain profits. For example, when 759 store first opened in 2010, some of their branches sold distilled water of a certain brand at $2 per bottle, which was lower than the price $3 per bottle marked in other convenience stores in the same district. The distributor required 759 store to increase their selling price to $3, otherwise it would terminate the business. This was a typical example of resale price maintenance. However, there was not yet any competition law in Hong Kong, so the distributor wasn't punished for this. Long-term supply agreements mean that the supplier requires the buyer to purchase services from them for a long period of time. For example, Many telecom companies require their customers to sign a contract lasting for at least a year or even two to reduce the competition with their counterparts from the same industry. Yet the Hong Kong government thinks that no single telecom company is exceptionally powerful in the market. Therefore, they are not regarded as abusing their market power and are exempted from the second conduct rule. Last but not least, predatory pricing occurs when a seller sets the price at a level that's lower than the cost to grab more market share by forcing other competitors out of the market or stopping potential competitors from entering the market. If the supplier is large enough, it may not care to suffer a loss for a short period of time by selling their products at a deliberately low price to grab extra market share. Some smaller sellers may be driven out of the market as they can't survive under such circumstances. All of the anti-competitive behaviors mentioned will result in problems like prices being driven up, less choices available, or decreased market efficiency. In order to maintain a healthy market, we should try to prevent anti-competitive conducts from happening.